Number 7, Fedor Zugic on our right. 11, Ryan Kalkbrenner. We'll start with a statement from head coach Greg McDermott.
You know, a high-level shot-making game on, I think, on both teams. We made a few more. Not sure either team really had an answer for the other team offensively, and in watching Villanova, they obviously, they got off to a rough start and lost a couple games, but really since then, they probably should have won at Maryland. It was playing really good basketball. Their offense, in the last 7 or 8 games, is one of the top offenses in the country. It starts with Dixon. He's such a hard matchup because it's hard to go small, and at times, that's why we played Jason so much tonight, and shorten the bench a little bit just because we wanted him on him if he was in the game, and then when they went smaller, I thought Kalk did a good job and switched and did some good things. But it was a good win for us. It's the Big East. You're going to have some clunkers once in a while, and then you're going to have some games where you play pretty well, and you can't get lost in either one of those. And that's for the fans to do, not for our team.
The questions for the student athletes.
Ryan, I think Mac wasn't crazy about your aggressiveness the other night. What did you feel like was different tonight, just in terms of activity level, posting up, offensive rebounding, all that kind of thing?
I just think it was having a lot of energy coming into the game. I think Georgetown didn't do a great job of preparing myself to be ready to start the game. And that's on me to fix that, and I think I did a better job of that because, as Mac was telling me leading up to this one, a lot of people look to me to like, if I have good energy, the rest of the team has good energy because they're looking at me as a leader. So I think just having that mindset shift and having good attitude coming into this game just leads to all that, being more aggressive and all that.
Ryan, if you think back to a year ago, you were pretty frustrated after the Nova loss here. Did that have any, and I guess the matchup with Dixon, did that have anything to do with the aggressiveness today?
I mean, me and Dixon have been playing against each other for 5 years now, and it's always a battle every time. So he's a great player, so you look forward to those kind of matchups. I'm sure he'd say the same thing. Like, it's just really good bigs playing against each other, and you just, as a competitor, you love to have those kind of matchups.
Fedor, can you kind of walk us through when you got the news and what the process was like leading up to being able to play today?
Well, wasn't expecting it, to be honest. It just, happened one day after practice. I think it happened in the middle of practice, so we kind of got caught off guard. But I'm just grateful that I'm able to play and feel the court tonight and the atmosphere and the fans. I really appreciate the love, and I'm just proud to be with this group finally on the court.
What day was that? You got the news?
We didn't get final word till this morning, so if he looked unprepared to play, he should have looked unprepared to play because he has not spent 1 second preparing to play with the top team. But obviously we're excited to have him, and this, we got to practice tomorrow, and then 4 practices before St. John's, and hopefully we can get him up to speed.
Ryan, what kind of spark was that for the rest of the team, just him finally being able to get out there?
I mean, it's been awesome. I think itching to get him out there. We see him practice every day. We know how good of a player he is. So we're just super happy for him. We know he was a little frustrated, with the whole process, and just he's a basketball player, loves to play, so we wanted him to get out there. So more than anything, we were just happy for him that he could get out there and play with us.
Ryan just kind of talked about it, that this was a long, I'm sure, frustrating process at times. What is it like to not just see the light at the end of the tunnel now, but to be completely in the clear? What's that feel like?
Well, it was tough, not seeing my family, being in that kind of situation. I was never alone. I have a great group of guys and coaches around me, so I was never lonely, but it was a hard situation to be in. But, now it's over, so I don't really want to go back on it and think about it, but, I'm just happy to be free.
Obviously, this is way down the road, but I mean, it's really hard to win a conference title in this league if you don't defend home court. Was that a point of emphasis coming today, especially after dropping the opener?
I think for me, what I would at least hope that I'm trying to get the message across is we can't think all the way down the road to February, all that. We got to focus on getting better every single day, focus on the game, next game we got, because, you get caught looking down the road, all of a sudden you let one slip through your fingers right in front of you, and then you're definitely not going to win a conference championship. So, just staying present in the moment and getting better every single day in practice and every game.
22 assists on 31 buckets. They got you on a bunch of lobs tonight, kind of more than we've seen recently. What was working with the man and ball movement? How were you guys able to share the ball and move so well today?
Well, I think the first thing is we only turned it over 7 times, which that helps a lot. But yeah, when we don't turn the ball over and move offensively, we have a lot of things open up for us because we got really good shooters and really good passers all around. So I think that's mostly what it was, just taking care of the ball and moving.
You did have 4 in a row in the first half there, like it started to crowd back up. What'd you guys, I mean, obviously that was probably addressed in the timeout that ensued afterwards, but what did you feel like was cleaner tonight about ball security in general?
I think just our preparation going into the game. Mac talked to us all week about how going into Georgetown, we probably weren't as focused as we should have been in practice, and if we wanted to win games in this league, like it's a hard league. You gotta be focused every single day in practice, and when you're focused and got everything in order, then those types of things that you can kind of control, like turnovers, kind of take care of themselves.
Fedor, what was that feeling like getting to just check into the game and getting your legs back after everything that you've gone through?
It was great. I haven't played a basketball game in 7 months, I think. So it was just great being out there and, hearing the fans and everything. So, just grateful. Yeah.
Anything else for the guys?
Yeah, I guess does it juice you up at all to know that their anticipation level is, I don't know, it's almost as high as yours, but they try to match it. Like, I mean, as much as you've been missing it, they've been itching to see you.
Oh yeah, it's a different kind of motivation. I'm gonna work on my stuff with Coach Mac and slowly get into the rhythm, and hopefully make them happy.
Thanks, guys.
A little defense.
That's what you got to work on.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right, continue with questions for Coach.
That's probably as hard of a matchup as Jason might ever have in his career. What you think of the way he kind of handled it?
I thought he was really good. Early in the game, he made his touches hard, and that wears into you over time. But you don't phase Eric Dixon. You don't speed him up. He's not going to let one play impact him. I've always had great respect for him and thought he was a heck of a player. I'm not sure I ever thought he was an NBA player until this year. Like, he just added so much to his game. A couple of those shots he hit with Jason, hanging all over him. He's become an unbelievable shot maker, and analytically, I think he was shooting 72% on pick and pop threes in the year. Like, that is ridiculous. When you make a mistake, you pay for it, and we made him work for 27. I thought Jason was ready.
Mac, on the post-game radio show after Georgetown, I think you and Jackson both said that the offensive assertiveness was embarrassing. What caused for such a drastic turnaround in only a few days?
I mean, it's basketball, and you've heard me say this before. If you pay attention, it's a long season, and you'd love to have your A game every single time. But the reality of it is, you're probably going to have 10 or 11 games where you don't play great, and you hope you find a way to win. And you're going to have 10 or 11 games where you're like, I would love to bottle that up and have that every single time, but that's probably not reality either. And then you're going to have 10 or 11 where you just kind of play okay, and hopefully it's good enough to win. It's such a thin line, and the Georgetown game looks really lopsided, but we gave them 12 points on dunks on turnovers, and that's 6 possessions we didn't have a chance to score. So let's say we score on 3 of them. Well, now it's an 18-point swing that you've just handed them. And if you do that in this league, you're asking for trouble. And so a game can get lopsided in a hurry. And, we couldn't stop the bleeding in that game for whatever reason. And I thought this afternoon we were just more locked in, even though they made some very difficult shots. To slow down Eric Dixon, you have to give up something. And some of those mid-ranges we were willing to give up. And to their credit, they made him, and Brickus got off to a great start against Steven, and then we put more size on him with Jemiah, and I thought Jemiah played a great game on both ends of the floor this afternoon.
I think they only had 8 assists on 32 baskets. I mean, obviously you don't want them to make shots, but if you're going to make them make shots, making them make the one-on-one type of plays is what you're kind of trying to do. What did you think of the way?
I mean, the assist count, obviously we didn't force any turnovers, and they're a hard team to force into turnovers because they're very ball control oriented, and they do a good job. Their spacing's incredible. So we didn't want them to make easy plays, one more passes, or even when we doubled Dixon, we wanted to try to fly around to make him make an extra pass. So that 22 assists to 8 assists, it just, the offenses are operating differently, and they both can be successful, especially when you got Eric Dixon on the other side, because he can make plays with the ball without an assist. But we created a lot of offense with our ball movement tonight.
Matt Kalk talked about what kind of a boost having Fedor back. I mean, we've asked you about it so much to finally now have him. What can that do for this team?
Yeah, I mean, he's a long ways. And I compared a little bit to the Alex O'Connell situation a few years ago when all of a sudden they made transfers immediately eligible. He hadn't prepped at all with the top team, and all of a sudden you're thrown into it. And Fedor's training has been different. He's been lifting with Jeremy 4 days a week versus 2 like the rest of the guys. It's all scout team stuff. He's not really been held accountable to learn our offense because, as Fedor said, we didn't think this day was coming this year. So now we got to ramp it up and try to catch him up and get him in game shape. And fortunately, we have the 10-day break where he's going to be able to do some conditioning and get in shape. We play a couple games, and then we have another 8-day break where we have 4 or 5 practices, where hopefully we can catch him up and he can be an important contributor, rotational guy for us, because he can't handle it. He can pass it, he can shoot it. He's just got to learn what the heck's going on, and that's gonna take a little time. But his teammates were. When I told them today, they were incredibly excited for him. They know it's been a long, drawn-out process for him, and frustrating, when you're half a world away from your family and you're dealing with bad news after bad news after bad news. It was good to see him smile today.
Has it felt that long for you?
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, you kind of, you almost kind of compartmentalize, and I've got to get the group ready that's available to me, and at the same time, working every day with whatever we needed to do to try to inch this process along. And Matt Stolberg and Megan in our compliance office put in a lot of hours, and Coach Miller's been heavily involved, with our attorney and with Fedor's family's attorney. There's been a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of phone calls leading up to today being a reality. So, hats off to our compliance group and Coach Miller for a lot of great work to make today happen.
I know your answer might be different once you watch it back, but just when you think about the ball security today and the way you were able to make plays, get good shots off, what do you think was the point of growth, I guess?
Yeah, I hope we're getting better. We didn't go quite as deep on the bench today. We left some of these guys out there. Unfortunately, with Villanova, they don't foul a lot. We don't foul a lot, so foul trouble wasn't really an issue till Jemiah got his third, I think, with 8.5 minutes to go. We sat him for a minute, but we were able to kind of keep the ball in the right people's hands, and we made good decisions. We didn't get rushed, and I thought Georgetown at times we got a little antsy and tried to maybe throw some passes that weren't quite there, and we handled Villanova's switching really well because it's hard to simulate in practice because of the length they have out there.
Stephen had a career high 11 assists today. What was it about him operating the offense specifically?
Yeah, I mean, he's been terrific all year, and we won't realize, and I've said this with some other guys that have played for us, and, until he's gone, you don't realize the impact he has. Or just go back and watch the San Diego State game, and you realize what's missing when he's not out there. Like he's an incredible leader, and never allows what's happening with him personally to impact his ability to lead his teammates. And that's where Kalk and I had to have a talk after Georgetown, because he was disappointed in the way he played, but his role's bigger than just how he plays now. He's a 5th-year senior, and he's got some young guys that got some deer in the headlights looks once in a while, and they're looking to him, and they need to see confidence in his face. And he, to his credit, he really flipped that switch in preparation for this game.
2 more for Coach.
Jemiah had a career high 6 threes tonight. What's gone into his, I guess, shooting, like a little better shooting?
He works with Trey Ziegler every day after practice, and whether he wants to or not. We're making sure that he is, because people they're not guarding him, or they're going under screens, and he's got to make him pay for that. And he shot good ones. Obviously, the one he hit late in the game was a tough one where he rose up. But when he had open ones, he knocked them down. And Steven has the confidence to make that one more pass to him. And we're going to need Jeremiah to be a force for us offensively. And as much as I like the shooting, the 6 assists and no turnovers makes me even sleep better.
All things considered, how valuable are the next 10 days for you guys before you kind of get going?
Yeah, we're going to practice tomorrow, and then Monday morning we'll do some conditioning and some review and just some workouts, and then let them go home until the 27th, and then we'll come back and have them here 27, 28, 29, 30 in preparation for St. John's. So we'll get 4 good days of work, and there's some bumps and bruises still that we're fighting through. Steven's not totally 100%. I think this will allow him by December 31st to be back full go. And it'll be good for us to try to, fast track Fedor the best we can, just to try to figure out what role that he's going to be able to play as we move forward.
Thank you, Coach.
Merry Christmas, everybody.